Okay, we are up and running. So today, let's do two things. One is the course overview. So I'll be talking about how this class is going to run. Uh, s- some parts from the syllabus are going to appear over here, but a more detailed syllabus uh, is posted on Piazza, and you should look at that when after this class. It's a very detailed document, and I would encourage you guys to take a look at that later on. What's going on here? Why am I not projecting? Okay, so I guess we are up again. So read the syllabus after this class to get familiar with all the rules for the class. I'm going to be talking about course overview. So that's the first thing that I want to go over. And the second thing is going to be base conversions. So we'll start talking about number systems and look at how do we convert from one number system to the other. And we'll be focusing mainly on unsigned numbers today. So we'll talk about negative numbers in the next lecture. All right, guys, please mute yourself. Thank you. Now, what is the course objective? We are going to be talking about digital logic design, right? So if COCO or computer components and operations were to be renamed, it would probably be renamed digital logic design. So we'll be talking about how digital logic plays a crucial role in the design of computer systems. So part of today's lecture will be on number systems and how do we represent numbers in various bases, various number systems. And then later we'll be talking about how can we add numbers, how can we multiply numbers, how can we subtract numbers, and so on. Then we'll get into Boolean algebra, different from arithmetic algebra. Some rules are the same, but a lot of it is different. Later on in the course, we'll introduce logic gates. We'll talk about very interesting combinational circuits such as encoders, multiplexers, bus drivers, and arithmetic logic unit. And then in the second half of the course, we will get into sequential circuits. So for example, we'll start with latches, move into flip-flops, and then using flip-flops, we'll design counters, and then we'll look at finite state machines, which is probably the most interesting part of this course in terms of design. So my goal is when you reach to the state of finite state machine design, you guys feel a sense of accomplishment that you can go ahead and start putting digital systems together. You can start with an objective, maybe a few statements about what you want to design, and you should be able to use all your sequential circuits and combinational circuits to make that finite state machine. So that's the overall goal of this course. So for example, if I wanted you to design a traffic light controller using the things that you have, you should be able to do that, right? That's the overall goal of this course. Now, we will also have hands-on experience, which is for using the FPGA Basis 3 board that most of you, if not all, have already purchased. Studios are going to be on that board primarily. Some studios will be using LogicWorks, and I'll talk about that later on. So studios that are on Wednesdays will require you to use the Basis 3 board. Moving on. Most of you know me, but here is my information. My name is Dr. Hamid. My email address is listed over here. These slides, by the way, have been uploaded to Piazza, so you don't need to take notes. You can actually download them from the Piazza page and go over them with me. These are all hyperlinks, so you don't need to take it down. You can just click on them and email me, or click on it. Click on the WebEx link to get to my virtual office hours. My office hours this semester are going to be on Mondays and Thursdays between 3 and 4 p.m. Eastern, and on Tuesdays 9 to 10 p.m. Eastern. And I will be available at that particular WebEx link. Now, I'm also present on WebEx Teams that I created for the entire class, and I saw that many of you were interacting with the TAs over there, and you have already joined your specific section WebEx Team space. That's where you will be interacting with the TAs, you will be interacting with undergraduate student assistants and your friends from COCO. So all the team activity, group activity, individual activity, help is going to be over there. WebEx Teams. Moving on. We have 2 graduate TAs and 3 undergraduate student assistants that are going to help with this course. Their email addresses are listed on the slide, and their studio sections to which they are assigned are also listed. So for example, Lauren Brady, who is a very experienced COCO TA and who has been helping me set up the studios, is going to be my lead TA, and she's assigned to section 1 and 2, and Bowen Tang is assigned to section 3. Jerry has helped me with COCO over the summer. Tong Yang and Alan took the course in the summer, so they know how this course is run because they have already seen the online version of COCO in the summer. So I'm counting on them for guiding you guys with any question that you might have. Now, each teaching staff member has an office hour or help session. And these help sessions have a specific WebEx team space. So for example, on Tuesdays, 7 to 9, Lauren is going to be available for Q&A, and if you want studio help, you can go to that as well. Bowen Tang, 7 to 9 on Wednesdays. Alan, 9 to 11 on Wednesdays. These are also considered as alternate studio sessions. So if you are an international student or you are in a very difficult time zone, faraway time zone, then you can use the Wednesday evening, late evening studio times to get checked off. But people who are in the US, you should try to go to your specific section 1, 2, or 3, and get the TA help or undergraduate student help. Also note that studios will have checkoffs, so you will need to show your work and get checked off for each studio. Without that, your submission on Gradescope will be considered invalid. All of these details have been listed on the syllabus. Now, let me see if the teaching staff members are online so that they can introduce themselves. Lauren, are you online?
Professor Hamid, yes, I'm here.
All right, so here, let me see if I can bring this up over here. Okay. So, Lauren, please introduce yourself to the group.
Hi, everybody. My name is Lauren. As Professor Hamid said, I've TA'd for this class. I think this is my 5th time now. Most recently over the summer semester when we were entirely online for Arch. So I've seen one iteration of this Arch course, and hopefully as a teaching staff, we can make your experience the smoothest it can be. Please feel free to ask questions at any point, but I look forward to getting to know you.
Thank you, Lauren. Is Bowen Tang online?
I think it was just going to be myself and Tong Yan today. The others said they.
Oh, is that right? Okay, so let's do Tong Yan. Tong Yan, please say hi to the group.
Hello, guys. I'm Tong Yan. I will be in the studio section 3, but I will not log in until 3:20 because I have ITE lab before that. But I hope I can still help you in studio 3 within that 1 hour. And I will have a help session on Sunday afternoon. If you guys have any questions, please come. Thank you. Good luck on your course.
Thank you, Tong Yang. So I guess others are not there. If by any chance Jerry and Alan are here, now is the time to speak up. Going once, going twice, and sold. All right. So you guys will meet the rest of the teaching staff members tomorrow during COCO Wednesdays, right? I'm calling it COCO Wednesdays because Wednesday we have a lot of help almost through the day for studios, and you will see that in a minute, right? So from 10 all the way to probably 11 p.m. Eastern time, there is going to be someone or the other available with some few gaps in the middle. Okay, so how do you interact with the teaching staff? I've listed over here WebEx Teams called ECSE 2610 COCO Fall 20, and you add to your respective section, and also you add to the general space. That's where you interact with the teaching staff for any questions that you might have. And if you want to interact with with everybody anonymously, then you can post questions anonymously on Piazza. So that's an option as well. And I suppose all of you are familiar with Piazza now that you have seen this in Intro to ECSE and some of the other courses that are within ECSE. All of you should be on Piazza by now. All right, let's move on. Course components. So what is the course going to comprise of? First things first, lectures. Where are lectures going to be conducted? WebEx meetings, just as this is right now. If you guys are not aware, there is a smartphone app for WebEx meetings. There is a smartphone app for WebEx Teams. There is a smartphone app for Piazza. I think that those are very, very handy tools to get you help at your fingertips. So some might prefer using the desktop applications, but if you are a heavy phone user, which I assume you are, most of you are, then you should install those applications. Take advantage of them. The lectures will be recorded. This lecture right now is being recorded, and after the lecture, I will be posting links to the Piazza page, and I will create a section called video lectures, and I will post those links over there for you to watch it later on if you want to. Studios. All right, you guys, can you guys mute yourself? All right, Futhai, I need you to mute yourself.
Oh shit.
That's okay. That's okay. Thank you. All right, let's see. Studio, we are going to have 3 sections. You guys have already enrolled based on your availability in a particular studio. So 1, 2, and 3. What are we going to do in studios? We are going to mostly we are going to focus on VHDL programming, and then we are going to program an FPGA to do some interesting things, maybe as simple as implementing a logic gate to some more interesting things, scrolling a message on the 7-segment displays. So as we go through the semester, the difficulty of the studios will keep increasing. LogicWorks is a digital logic simulation environment, and we'll talk about LogicWorks later in the course. But for now, we are going to be focusing on the FPGA related studios at the start of the semester. Now, students will be required to demonstrate your studio exercises to the teaching staff that I talked about. More information about this, how to do the checkoff and so on, will be provided to you during your respective studio sessions. So if you have any questions regarding studio, please feel free to ask the respective TA or the undergraduate student assistant at your studio time. The studios themselves will be assigned on Piazza. And after you go through the studio and you have gotten checked off, you should submit your report through Gradescope. Homework will be assigned every week on Piazza, and it'll generally be due after 1 week on Gradescope. So for example, homework 1 will be assigned later today. It will be due because we don't have class next week on Tuesday. It will be due on Friday of next week. So you have quite a bit of time for homework 1. All right, let's move on here. So there's a question in the chat box which says, if I choose the alternative session, what should I do? You should go to the alternative studio session and you should get checked off at that time or get help during that time. But that's, I'm hoping that, all the students that are within the US, they go to their respective section. The alternate studios times are reserved for, okay, I was not able to complete it in my studio time. Can I go there? Can I go at the alternative studio times session? But it is mainly there for people who are international or in a very far away time zone. All right, I hope that answers the question. Next, we are going to have short quizzes for COCO. These are going to be available on every class day except for the days we have exams. These are supposed to be sort of an attendance, right? Like, I want to make sure that you are attending class and keeping up with the schedule. So quiz 1 is already there. Quiz 1. So do that today. I saw that some of you have already done it. It shouldn't take you more than 5 to 10 minutes to answer the questions. These are going to be open book, open notes. Don't discuss, but you can refer to material in your book or notes. Generally, it will be 4 multiple choice questions. They will open every class day at 12:01 a.m. Eastern Time, and they will close on that particular class day at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. So everyone in this class will be able to do this quiz because it's open the entire class day. So no matter where you are, you should be able to do this. Yes, so the short quizzes, I'm going to open it the entire day. So you can take it at any time you want, but you have to take it on that class day. So for example, today's thing is going to close tonight at 11:59 p.m. Whole day, yes, whole day. Because the idea is, if you attend the lecture, I want to have you do the quiz, attend the lecture, right, at the same time. But for most of you, it might not be the case, which is why I'm opening it for the entire day. The short quizzes are meant to test some basic ideas that were discussed in the previous class. For the first one, there was no previous class, so I'm asking very simple questions. And if you don't know the answer to them, just go online and search for it, and you should be able to answer those questions. All short quizzes are open book, open notes, individual assessment. So, you can refer to resources. Search for it online. Try to see what K stands for. All right, let's move on. There are going to be 2 midterm exams and 1 final exam conducted throughout the semester. Midterm exam 1 is going to be on October 8th. There are going to be 2 time slots for each exam. Time slot 1 is during the class time, 10 a.m. to 11:50 a.m. And time slot 2 is 9 p.m. to 10:50 p.m. Eastern Time that same day, October 9th. Similarly, for midterm 2, you have 2 time slots. And then for final exam, that is going to be scheduled by the registrar. We'll talk about the scheduling for that when the final exam comes around. More details about the time slots and how you sign up for it and how you will be assigned, all of that will be discussed as we get closer to the midterm. I will conduct review sessions and talk about the logistics for the exam in great detail. But right now, what you should do is mark these dates on your calendar. October 8th and November 6th, those are going to be my exam days. They are set. You should mark it on the calendar and make sure that you are available those days. If you have an extra time accommodations note from DSS, please make sure that you forward that to me so that I have it on file and I can make appropriate planning and do that early in the semester. The first studio is going to be tomorrow, Studio 0, Wednesday, September 2nd. And this is primarily for you to get up and running with things, right? So try to find your WebEx team space for your section. And a lot of you have already added to your team space, so that's good. In Studio 0, the goal is to meet and greet your TAs and undergraduate student assistants. You are asked to go through an installation, Vivado installation tutorial, essentially. So get installation help if you need. The goal is for Studio 0 to install the software. Instructions are on Piazza under Studio Resources, and go through the Vivado tutorial, right? So the tutorial is also available that walks you through step by step as to how do you start working in the Vivado environment. So go through this exercise. Now, if you do not have the board right now, You may not be able to program the board, which is fine. You should still get through the installation of Xilinx Vivado 16.2 design suite. So your goal one, primary goal this week should be to get used to WebEx Teamspace and get used to the Vivado software. Install it. Studio One will be conducted next week, September 9th, right? So I will be releasing Studio One later this week, so you can work on that before September 9th. Now, one thing that I would like to recommend is this. I will be posting studio videos, right? Videos that walk you through how to do the studio. I would strongly recommend that you do the studios beforehand. You do not want to be in a time crunch during the actual studio time. So get a start early. Many of you might actually be able to complete the studio before even the class starts. So you are just going there to get checked off with the TAs. That's what a lot of students did in the summer. They worked on the studio ahead of time. They just went to the studio session to get checked off, which is why they were able to keep up with the schedule and things moved smoothly. There's a question online that I'm just trying to look at. I am in section 3 and my studio sessions are on Sundays. Hold on. So if you are section 3, your studio session will be, so everybody's studio session is on Wednesdays. Okay, so try to find what section you are in. So for example, let me just look at this. I'm going to access Piazza here. If you go look at the syllabus, I'm just going to pull it up. And if this cooperates. So there are 3 sections. Shouldn't it be on? Yes. Go to the general chat, find the one that matches your time. That your time that was. This is not working. Everybody is going to have lecture at the same time, but studios are on Wednesdays. Everybody's studio is on Wednesday. Only the time is different. All right, look at this. If you are section 1, this is from the syllabus. If you are section 1, then you are on your class schedule. Wednesdays 10 to 12 p.m. is marked off. You are section 1. Section 2, Wednesdays 12:20 to 2:10. Section 3, Wednesdays 2:30 to 4:20. Everybody is either section 1, 2, or 3, and those times are there. It's also on SIS, absolutely. So we are going to have lecture. Everybody is going to have lecture at the same time, but the studios are separate depending on which section you enrolled in. Let's see. Did you say not to worry about the studio videos before doing the lab? No. I said I will be posting the studio videos before the lab so that you can watch it, get a sense of how you should progress through the studio. So those videos will help you do the studio. No problem. All right, let's come back here. Homework assignments, I already talked about that. Assigned on Piazza, submission on Gradescope, generally on a weekly basis. Late homework is not going to be accepted. You know that Gradescope closes automatically, and we are not going to accept late homework. This course is going to keep moving, so it's very important to keep up with the schedule. Okay, so here, let's talk. So there are 5 sections. No, there are 3 sections. There are always going to be 3 sections. These are meant. So these are meant for students who are not able to go to their respective sections at the during the day. There are just 3 sections for this course, you guys. All right, let's move on. All right, so many of you have already figured out the answers to these questions. Post your questions in the WebEx team space. Help each other out, right? So if I keep answering the questions that are appearing here, I'm going to be lagging behind in terms of time. So the questions that you are having over here after this class, you can post them on WebEx team space, and I'm sure many of the other students in the class know the answer to this. Yes, daily quizzes are going to count as attendance. Yes. No, well, it also matters whether you are getting it correct or not. So it's not as simple as attendance. You should attend the class, but also it is testing whether you learned things from the previous class or not. So it's doing 2 things. All right, let's move on. Copied homework will receive a grade of 0. I want you guys to do the homework by yourself. But in terms of discussion, you can discuss with your friends, but don't just take their answers and put it in your solution set. That will be penalized. Repeated violations are going to result in failing the course. Now, there are 2 forms that I uploaded on Piazza and Gradescope. One form is regarding academic integrity policy for this class. The other form is for digital tools acknowledgement. Every student should read that carefully, write your name, sign it, and upload it to Gradescope as soon as possible. Only then we will be starting to grade your submitted work. How is the grading scheme for this class? The short quizzes that are short or daily quizzes are going to be 10% of your grade. Homework is going to be 20% of your grade. Studio, 20%. Midterm 1, 15%. Midterm 2, 15%. And the final exam is going to be 20% of your course grade. So that's the grading criteria that I'm going to use to assign your final course grade. All this information is on the syllabus. The grade cutoffs. As a first approximation, I'm giving you something to aim at. And what you should aim at is greater than 93% for the overall course grade. That is going to guarantee you that you get an A. So this is a first approximation, right? So this is what I'm going to use as a starting point. Then I may adjust the grade lines a little bit to make sure that I form clusters, groupings of students, so that there is enough separation between the overall weighted scores. Read the details in the syllabus about all these grade cutoffs. So I've written up examples to guide you through what goes on with this. So this is primarily used, you should use this primarily as something to aim at, right? Okay. As far as regrading policy is concerned, for homework and studio, you can appeal for regrades within 2 days after the grade has been provided to you on Gradescope. For exam grades, you can do an email request to me within a week, where you should explain exactly why you think you are appealing for the regrade. So for homeworks and studios, this can happen on Gradescope within 2 days of we returning your graded work. For exams, it can be within the week after the grades have been returned to you. But for exams, it should be an email request to me. Academic integrity policy, like I've pointed out, read it on Piazza, sign it, write your name on it, and submit the form on Gradescope. I'm not going to talk about all the details of the academic integrity policy. I'm sure that each of you is aware of what is going on. When you read the document that you sign, you will understand what that policy is going to be. I've also linked on the PDF the RPI policy for academic integrity as well. The question in the chat box is, when will studios be released? The studios will be released every week for the next week. So for example, Studio 0 is already released, the thing that you are going to do tomorrow. Studio 1 will be released sometime during this week. So they will be released early so that you can get a start on them. So think of it like 1 week ahead of time. All right, let's see. I'm just going to say, read the syllabus, read the academic integrity policy, sign it, submit it. It is very crucial that you read this carefully and sign. Let's move on. The course material. Some of you were asking about the course textbook. I do not require you to buy the textbook. But if you are a person who likes to read, I am recommending a primary text, which is what I'm going to be using to make your lectures as well. You don't have to buy it because my lectures are going to be pretty comprehensive and you should be able to follow along. But the textbook that is generally assigned with this course is John Wakerly, Digital Design Principles and Practice, the 4th edition. So if you are a textbook person and if you like to read, then you can purchase this from the bookstore. But this is optional. You don't have to get it. Sure, yes. All right, the last couple of messages, I'm going to pretend that I didn't see them. All right, let's move on. The required software for this class is LogicWorks 5. Don't worry about that right now. I will talk about how you can get it later in the semester. I have a copy to which I have licenses. I can give it to you when the time comes. Right now, you should focus on getting the FPGA software, which is Vivado Design Suite. There are many references online. I have listed a few books that you can use as references, and there is enormous amount of information about this course on the web. But your primary resource should be lecture slides and lecture videos. So attending the class is going to be of great help. Where is the course material distributed? As you can see, Piazza I'm going to use for almost all the course material. The announcements, syllabus, lecture notes, links, handwritten notes, almost everything goes on Piazza. Gradescope will have the short quizzes, submission of homeworks, submission of studios, and submission of the exams. YouTube will have the recorded videos. And if you are not able to access YouTube whatsoever and you are not able to attend the class during class time, let me know and I'll try to figure out a way for you to access the recorded videos. All right, I think I've covered almost everything that I wanted to, and now I would like you to ask me questions in the little time that we have. If you're not on Gradescope, you should email me. If you're not on Piazza, you should email me. Yes, every exam is mandatory. So everything over here that you see is mandatory. Oh, so our studios group work or individual, they'll start off as individual work, and then as you get more comfortable, you will be looking at group work. So they will start off as individual assessments, and they will move into group activity. I have talked about this on the syllabus. Yes, tomorrow's studio is about software installation, meet and greet the TAs. Is the final cumulative, or does it cover the material after midterm too? The final is cumulative. So if you are not added to here, let me see this. Every student, there has been a lot of change in enrollment recently. So I can spend my entire day just adding people in, but I'm not going to do that. So every student should be on this Piazza, Gradescope, WebEx Teams. Speaking of the quiz, where is number 4? What do you mean? Uh, all right. So if you are not here, email me. All right. So let's see. I'm going to stop recording here.